In tonight's EastEnders, a villain's fate is sealed after a shocking confession, possibly facing elimination. Yolanda's courageous revelation of her assault by Pastor Clayton may finally bring justice. Meanwhile, George's risky choices and devastating health news lead to a heartbreaking turn of events. Plus, Danielle Harold stuns fans with a Kylie Minogue resemblance, and Angela Winter takes on a new role in Doctor Who. Tonight, a BBC EastEnders villain faces elimination as their exit is sealed following a devastating confession. In the upcoming episode of EastEnders, fans will see the confrontation of a villain as his repugnant deeds are revealed. After a courageous choice made by another character on Tuesday night, the character may finally meet his demise. With the confirmation of other victims, Pastor Clayton could now finally face the repercussions of his heinous assault on Yolanda Truman. When Yolanda confessed in Elaine Peacock following her sexual assault by Pastor Clayton, viewers were devastated. She disclosed to Elaine that she had experienced inappropriate touching, causing her to struggle as a result. She kept what had occurred to her a secret from other people, and Clayton has since pretended nothing had happened. In a recent episode, viewers learned that Pastor Clayton has raped and attacked several women, some of whom came forward to denounce his crimes, at least during the previous 10 years. However, he got away with it. Fans witnessed Yolanda, who asked Elaine to speak for her, finally open up to her husband Patrick Truman about her ordeal on Tuesday. At the conclusion of the tearful ordeal, Yolanda made the decision to inform the church authorities about her assailant. Fans will witness the consequences of this choice and the scene where Patrick approaches Pastor Clayton on Wednesday. Yolanda wants to go alone, but he wants to help her as she goes to denounce him to Levi. When she informs Levi about the sexual assault she suffered at the hands of Pastor Clayton, he is moved by her courage and immediately agrees to look into her complaint. Could this then be the turning point that brings Pastor Clayton's horrible deeds to an end? Could it inspire additional victims to come forward now that Yolanda has brought his misdeeds to the church's attention? The audience has demanded that the antagonist face his demise, and they trust Yolanda's public statement will bring it about. George Knight's risky choice on EastEnders is broadcast on BBC iPlayer. In the most recent episode of EastEnders, George Knight seemed to make a possibly fatal choice in response to some really concerning health news. After discovering the startling reality about his origins and adoption, including the fact that his adoptive father Eddie Knight killed Henry Kofi Asare, his biological father, in a hate crime, George found it difficult to accept who he was and started fighting in secret even after suffering serious injuries. George refused to stop his new hobby despite the efforts of his friend Phil Mitchell and ex-wife Cindy Beale to stop him. After learning that George had not attended his late adoptive mother Gloria Knight's funeral, his daughters Anna and Gina organized a memorial service so the family could say their final goodbyes to Gloria. George was struck a further painful blow. Although fans will be aware that former Emmerdale star Micah Balfour will soon be featured in the part of Junior, George was heartbroken that his estranged son Junior had not replied to his or the girl's messages. You accept our terms and conditions and privacy policy by submitting your information. Unsubscribing is possible at any time. After giving a moving eulogy for Gloria, George passed away from vertigo and clouded vision and collapsed to the ground while leading a toast. At the hospital, Cindy, Gina, Anna, and George's fiancée Elaine Peacock overheard Dr. Brady's, Helena Antonio, talk while giving Phil and Cindy a knowing glance at their covert awareness of George's previous actions. After examining George's scans, the physician rejected George's explanations for his symptoms, stating that something more recent was the cause. She clarified that George most likely suffered from chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a brain illness that can cause memory loss due to recurrent head trauma. When Dr. Brady disclosed that George might die from one more knock, the clan was horrified. George was allowed to leave the hospital, but not before confessing to Cindy's involvement and having to acknowledge that he had been fighting. George vowed never to fight again, but Cindy was later shocked to see him in a covert meeting with Ian Gaines' character Rufus, who enthusiastically informed him about the details of his next battle in the underground ring. Will George realize what's going on, or is he staging his own demise? Home news celebs EastEnders Danielle Harold, who plays Lola Pierce in EastEnders, is a spitting image of Kylie Minogue in this gorgeous photo. Danielle Harold, a former cast member of EastEnders, stunned viewers with a recent Instagram photo in which she draws comparisons to Kylie Minogue. The Lewisham-born actress, 31, gained notoriety for her role as Lola Pierce on the BBC One serial opera before to her untimely demise in the previous year. On May 31, 2023, Lola lost her fight with cancer and left behind her husband Jamie Borthwick, and daughter Lexi Pierce, leaving a bereaved audience. Danielle accepted a number of awards, including a National Television Award, and was commended for her remarkable portrayal of Lola. Upon departing from the BBC soap opera, the television personality made an appearance on the previous year's I'm a Celebrity and accumulated 653K Instagram followers. Danielle is completely different from her soap opera role in her most recent social media post. She looks stunning in a silver pair of hot pants with circles cut out of the waistline and a metallic disc chainmail fringe top. Her signature golden hair cascades past her shoulders, paired with an opulent makeup style. With one arm raised over her head, the actress rests in the corner of a wall covered in brown tiles. She captioned the photo with the simple phrase, "Alexa, play Kylie Minogue." Denise Van Outen said, "So beautiful," followed by a heart-eyed emoji in the comments area, demonstrating how quickly Danielle's friends and fans showered her with praises. "But oh la la," Fred Sirius continued, and "big time slay," said Maisie Smith, a former co-star. One person exclaimed, "The most stunning girl, love." A second person said, "Wow, that's really hot," and a third said, "That's amazing." One fan said, "You look so gorgeous and beautiful," while another inquired, "OMG, I love that top." The legendary Angela Winter of EastEnders, as you've never seen her in a Doctor Who role. By Grace Morris, posted 2 hours ago. Yolanda Truman and Angela Winter from EastEnders are very different from one another when they appear on Doctor Who. Favorite character from EastEnders Angela Winter, who is going to play a totally different role from Yolanda Truman in the soap opera, will make an appearance in Doctor Who Season 14. The role that Angela is most renowned for is that of Yolanda, who returned to the soap opera permanently last year and reconnected with her life partner Patrick Truman. Yolanda is currently a part of a terrible narrative in which she was sexually assaulted horribly by Pastor Clayton, Howard Sadler, and in a special two-hander episode, she finally told Patrick the devastating secret. Cherry is the adopted grandmother of Ruby Sunday, Millie Gibson, the Doctor's companion. Ruby lived in a spacious apartment with her aging grandmother Cherry. Ruby was the adopted daughter of Carla. Cherry's health was so bad that she would not go to Manchester to live with Carla and Ruby. Instead, the two moved in with Cherry to help with her daily requirements. Cherry became agitated with Carla when she began to foster a baby named Lulubelle. She also became agitated when Ruby and Carla neglected to make her a cup of tea after the last one went cold. Later, the Doctor saved Lulubelle from being eaten by goblins on their ship, but upon his return to the apartment, Ruby had vanished. Ruby's adoption 19 years ago was lost from Carla and Cherry's memories, and it was eventually discovered that the goblins had traveled back in time to prevent Ruby from being discovered on a church step after her mother had abandoned her. In order to stop them and return Ruby to her house, the Doctor used his TARDIS to travel back in time and restore the original timeline. Grace is a digital journalist for WHatToWatch.com, where she provides all the most recent soap opera news and responses in addition to writing series recommendations, recaps, and features for must-watch shows. Her passion for creative writing, movies, and television only grew after she earned a degree in writing and film studies from Anglia Ruskin University in 2020. Usually with chocolate by her side, you can find her watching the drama play out in the newest reality shows or beloved UK soap operas. She is an authority on all things reality TV, including Selling Sunset, Married at First Sight UK, Emmerdale, Coronation Street, and 90 Day Fiancé UK. Plus Virgin River, a huge smash on Netflix. In addition to watching and reading about the newest movies and TV shows, Grace enjoys traveling to new locations with her loved ones. Please subscribe our channel.